Everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today I have a little bit of a cold, so if I sound strange or I start to sniffle or whatever, that's why, so I apologize for that, first off. Second, it looks like we have some new information coming from a source that I've never heard of before, so let's cover that first. This account, Star Wars stuff, they just, they post about news on Star Wars. Patty Jenkins reportedly had creative differences with Lucasfilm. Top filmmakers are dying to make a Star Wars movie until they sign on and experience the micromanagement and plot point by committee process. Jenkins wasn't willing to dick around. So this is from Puck News, which I've never heard of this. They're verified, but I've literally never heard of this website before. This is my very first time I've ever heard of this, but a lot of people are following them, so I'm like, okay, what is this? So it's this article, it says new from Matt Baloney, so I'm like, okay, who's this guy? And then it says former editor of the Hollywood Reporter, attorney, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, so this is a real guy. This is an actual real person who a lot of people who I follow also follow this guy. So this is not some random fucking YouTuber or some bullshit that's spreading rumors. This is a real person. So here we go. We're gonna talk about this, I guess, from Puck News again, which I've never heard of before. But okay, I guess this is a website. So, oh man, I'm sorry about my voice. It's time to take Star Wars movies away from Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy is one of the most prolific producers in Hollywood history, but it's time for someone else to manage the Star Wars franchise. Now, before we get into that, of course, as I've stated for the last couple videos, her 3-year extension was up in October, and we still don't know what's happening there. We haven't had any rumors or really any news as to, like, is she gone? Is someone else here? Was her contract extended again? I have not heard anything from anyone, so we don't know. Here we go. I'm betting I wasn't the only one who chuckled when the news broke on Tuesday that the Patty Jenkins Star Wars film, the one that Disney trumpeted with video of the Wonder Woman director saying her goal was the greatest fighter pilot movie ever made, that one that had a title, Rogue Squadron, and a release date in 2023, and the one that it's really taken this long designation as the first Star Wars film to be directed by a woman, was not happening. Well, not happening, just delayed indefinitely if you believe Disney. Scheduling problems, prior commitments, we'll regroup next year, yada yada. Yeah, that's they did all that. They had a whole video presentation. They had this whole grand announcement with that video about how she's gonna do it and how her dad was a fighter pilot and all this stuff. And now it's probably not happening, I would say. When they first announced that there was all this stuff about scheduling conflicts, that's just such a, how would you even say it? It's just such a cover term for, like, we're having problems. We're having scheduling conflicts. It's like, come on. We see through that, right? I talked to a few insiders this week and said the real culprit was dreaded creative differences, which that's also a term that's used when people are let go of a project, which is interesting. Specifically, Jenkins couldn't agree on the script with Lucasfilm executives, including senior VP Michelle Rejwan. That's not unusual, of course, but it's a laughably reoccurring problem at Lucasfilm under President Kathleen Kennedy, says agents. Top filmmakers are dying to make a Star Wars movie until they sign on and experience the micromanagement and plot point by committee process. It happened to the Game of Thrones guys who were hired to create a new trilogy but bailed. It also happened to Rian Johnson, writer and director of The Last Jedi, whose own planned trilogy was shelved. Jenkins wasn't willing to dick around, and she has other projects, notably Wonder Woman 3 at Warner Brothers, where she enjoys more creative freedom. Disney and personal representatives for Jenkins and Kennedy declined to comment. You'll forgive my skepticism when it comes to Kenny's management of the Star Wars. Okay, so, and then we gotta pay for like the whole thing here, which I'm not gonna do. But that's interesting. Okay, so, yeah, this is coming from a guy who used to be an editor at the Hollywood Reporter. He's an attorney, he's this and that and the other thing. You know, so this is not from nobody, you know what I mean? This is not like a random rumor that's coming out of nowhere. So, yeah. Here's what's interesting to me. Here's what's really interesting to me is that the main complaint seems to be the plot point by committee process. And yet, the main issue with that, you know, that many people keep saying is the main issue with things like The Last Jedi was that Rian Johnson had complete creative freedom with The Last Jedi, that Rian Johnson was allowed to do anything he wanted with The Last Jedi. But now the complaint seems to be the opposite of that, which is interesting. So does this mean that after The Last Jedi and the, you know, the highly divisive reaction that we are still seeing to this day, does that mean that Lucasfilm changed tactics and are now like really on top of creative, saying like, okay, we're going to discuss plot points before we do things? Is that what that means? Because as far as the story goes, Rian Johnson was literally allowed to do anything he wanted. And now that seems to no longer be the case. Now it's like, okay, no, we're gonna sit down and talk about every single decision. Which, you know, obviously that's a good or bad thing depending on where you fall on The Last Jedi. You know, so I don't know, because to be honest with you, it sounds very much like how Marvel movies are made. It sounds like, you know, Kevin Feige already has his plot points lined up. He already has his big outline. So the idea that that this is an issue for people making Star Wars, it's like, I mean, we've heard similar complaints in the past with some Marvel creative. We know that that's why Scott Derrickson is not doing Doctor Strange 2, is because Kevin Feige's like, we're doing this movie. We have to do it this way because the larger plan, you know, stuff like that. And then obviously Ant-Man 1 had its share of that kind of stuff. So it's just interesting. I don't even want to come out here and say that like, oh, having the plot point by committee process is a bad thing, because, you know, that's the one thing everyone has been complaining about, is like, man, I wish the sequel trilogy had a roadmap, had a plan, had this and that, because that sounds like what they're trying to do. But now the creatives behind the scenes are not happy with that. You know, they're not happy with micromanagement and stuff, right? So it kind of feels like you can't have both. You know, you can't let creatives be completely free and do what they want with the movies while also having a plan and knowing where this is all going to go and knowing what's supposed to happen. Because I imagine they sat down with Patty Jenkins and they're like, okay, no, you can't do this because this has to happen here, and we have to build up to this movie over there, something like that, right? So I'm kind of seeing both sides here, to be honest with you, because, you know, the creatives, they want to like, yeah, I want to work in Star Wars, I want to make my Star Wars, but also when they get there, it's like, okay, so I'm not making my Star Wars, I'm making Lucasfilm's Star Wars, right? At the same time, I do want them to, you know, have a full plan and roadmap and know where they're going. So to be honest with you, I'm kind of conflicted here. I'm kind of, I don't know quite how to feel about this, to be honest. And I wish my voice didn't sound like this right now. Ugh. Anyways, So yeah, that's the report, that's the rumor. I mean, it's stuff that we kind of figured. We figured that the scheduling thing didn't really make a whole lot of sense, that was kind of just a cover. This makes a lot more sense, I think, logically, as to why it would be shelved right now. Will this ever get made? Will this ever be a thing? I don't know, to be honest with you. It's possible that just like those other projects he mentioned, this is just gone, which sucks. But also, it's like, you know, this is the way that they're making movies. They're doing it the Marvel way now, seemingly, right? And they might just have to get creatives that are willing to kind of play ball in that Marvel making thing, where it's like, we have a plan, we have a roadmap now, but now you need to play along with this roadmap, you know? So yeah, there's going to be some micromanagement, and okay. Now, the whole Kathleen Kennedy aspect of this, here's my thing about that, is that, like, even with Kathleen Kennedy, like, if her contract's up, which it could be, you know, my thing is that that doesn't, like, do anything with what's happening here. What I mean by that is that Lucasfilm is still going to have this problem as to whether they're gonna let creatives have complete freedom and do whatever they want with their scripts, or if they're gonna, like, have a set plan. But you know, maybe they do have to work to find that middle ground. I don't know. You know, obviously I'm only working with the information that I have here, but yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting problem to have, but it's also something that I feel like the people over at Marvel can relate to quite a bit, because we've heard this complaint with them several times. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that this movie's happening at all, or if this is just another one that's like, it's just gone now? Is this, you know, is this a good thing that, like, they're trying to have a plan and stick with it? They're trying to, like they know what they want to do? Or is this a horrible thing for creatives who should be absolutely 100% free to do anything they want? Because I don't know, it feels like it's hard, it's really difficult to find a middle ground there, especially because, you know, if they're like, hey, we want to be more structured here, we want to manage our stories better, but creatives want to be free, you know, so it's you have two conflicting things that it seems like it's difficult for them to find a middle ground. So I don't know. And also, do you think that, you know, is this a Kathleen Kennedy issue, or is this just in general a creative problem that they're having? You know, because I cannot imagine that Kathleen Kennedy is, like, the one person. Like, they even mentioned here this Michelle Rejwan. You know, she's the vice president. In all honesty, when Kathleen Kennedy leaves, eventually one day, because it's gonna happen eventually, right? Michelle Rejwan is probably gonna take over. To be honest with you, more than likely she's gonna be taking over. So this is not like oh, Kathleen Kennedy's the one singular thing. It's like, no, she's one person among many. Anyways, so let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you feel about this. Honestly, it's like, I want them to have a plan. I also understand wanting to have freedom for creatives. I don't know. Also, how did you feel about Wonder Woman 2? Because that's my other thing, is that, like, she enjoys all these freedoms over at Warner Brothers. Wonder Woman 2 was not received amazingly. A lot of people have a lot of problems with Wonder Woman 2, and she supposedly had a whole lot of freedom for that project. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to feel. Anyways, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. And again, sorry for my voice. Yeah, it sucks. All right, bye.